run, which meant that 18-year-old Toccata was too. Actor's 96-acre farm in Vermont, a property and firearms, to Brooklyn, New York for a secret rendezvous, then to Hawaii for a purported crime spree in nightclubs across the island, and finally made it to Los Angeles when they were finished. As the police tried to catch up, Toccata's parents said they watched their child go from a precocious activist and public speaker to an incoherent mess. To them, Ezra was at the center of it all. They had heard that Miller controlled Toccata's coming and going, eating and sleeping, and felt entitled to speak on her behalf. Chase and Sarah said they noticed bruises. There were alleged instances of drugging. The people around them claimed to have witnessed physical abuse, and according to the family's accounts of their own interactions with Ezra, these started everything from claiming they were the second coming of Christ to assaulting Sarah. They weren't the only ones with concerns. In fact, Ezra had already been a subject of media scrutiny for 2 years by that point, subject to accusations of running a cult in Iceland to abusing a slew of romantic partners. What in the world is going on with Ezra Miller? And why? Better yet, where did all of this begin? As a professional actor, Ezra Miller's story naturally begins with their debut in film. At just 15 years old, Miller secured a role in the indie movie After School, and the gig was anything but casual. They played a high school sophomore with a preoccupation with violence against women, who films the death of 2 female classmates. You'd expect an older person to be casted for the role, but the director seemed to think that Ezra was beyond their years and ready for the job, according to an interview with New York Magazine. Director Antonio Campos said, "I could just tell he was special. He was a lot smarter than other teen actors. They bonded over their love of A Clockwork Orange. And more sensitive. He wasn't afraid to make a fool of himself. He also wasn't a virgin." Campos had difficulty getting Miller to act awkwardly in the sex scene. He already smoked, too. From a young age, Ezra evidently was already being exposed to and involved in fairly mature situations, both in private life and in the industry, situations you'd expect to be reserved for adults or older teens. This trend of being ahead of the curve manifested in a particularly life-altering way for Ezra right after School came out. At 16, Miller would drop out, though not for poor academic performance. The budding actor was a well-performing student, but got the idea to ditch high school and pursue their passion full-time in 11th grade, after Ezra claimed that Ludwig Beethoven had visited them in a dream. If that sounds too whimsical to be true, well, that's basically the norm for Ezra. Their next feature in 2009 was equally odd, though more on the comical side of the spectrum, as Ezra played a kid with a secret fat patch in the movie City Island, which involved his family's 300-pound neighbor. Next year, Miller played the lead role in Beware the Gonzo, as an unpopular Hunter S. Thompson-obsessed teen who starts an underground school newspaper to give a voice to outcasts. Movies with a markedly indie premise were their bread and butter. Art imitates life, because Ezra was just as precocious and unusual a teenager in real life as on the big screen, which was evident from their interviews at the time.
You know, I have a tendency to be very opinionated and forthcoming with ideas, so in that sense.
But like many child actors, Ezra would continue being a little too precocious for comfort. This film premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival, where it would be revealed that Ezra was romantically involved with Zoe Kravitz at the age of 17, while she was 21. While this is legal in New York, the general public wasn't too pleased when this bit of trivia cropped up again, especially considering Zoe Kravitz's other exploits, such as her inappropriate comments about J.D. Smith when he was 14 years old and she was 24. Just Hollywood being Hollywood, I guess. Rest assured, we'll come back to this motif later. Ezra's next movie was We Need to Talk About Kevin, where the character was another psychopathic murderer, this time one who shot up his high school with a bow and arrow. Miller's tendency unnoticed, and it was a point of discussion in interviews at the time.
Well, Kevin is played by the up-and-coming actor Ezra Miller. Earlier on, I went to meet him. Well, Ezra,
on his show. We're very friendly, but I think that's a little low. Okay.
Don't play his band either.
Here we. That's a little low. Here we go.
Security as Charlie Kirk, and that I'm a fraud, and that actually I have the exact same security. You will recall that Tim just said a week ago that I have no security. Okay,
What?
this is Tim Pool a week ago.
She is burning everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you told me? She has no security. She doesn't deal with this. We have to deal with it. She's a piece of
She has security just down the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors. She doesn't give two No one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy. And she doesn't give a about her security.
So that was like Tim last Monday. This is Tim. So I had no security except for one fat guy, which I told you was not true. Now he's saying this. Take a listen.
Okay. I'll say things I probably shouldn't say, but I'm going to say I always get superheated on this. Candace Owens has the same security team as Turning Point and Charlie Kirk did.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. If she had the same security team as Charlie Kirk, then wouldn't she be dead? What if she has the same security team as Charlie Kirk? Why is she still alive? See, that's how I know it's not true, because she hasn't been publicly murdered after publicly correctly calling genocide a genocide, which is a genocide.
Yeah, like Charlie did. And let's never forget Charlie Kirk said Gaza is a genocide, which I love sticking in the faces of dumb shit Ziocons.
So that would be. That's just my opinion on that. If she did, she'd be dead already. But here we go.
She's lying. She has the same security people. I've been digging into this. I've been meeting with people and talking with them. And I shouldn't say too much because there's more that's going to be coming out soon. Because rest assured, people are filing legal paperwork against her. Candace has the same security team or has used the same security companies and the same security personnel as Charlie and Erica did. So when she comes out and is questioning them, she is lying outright. Now, I've invited many of these people to come on. We'll see what happens. We'll see when they can. The issue is, the moment Candace goes on her show to millions of people and lies,